Let's see if we can make contact now with Steve Ninvalle, the president of the Guyana Boxing Association. And Steve is live with us. And Steve, thank you for being part of this special tribute to our dear friend Johnson St. Louis. We heard from Kathy Harper Hall previously, and we also heard from Vincent Roberts and a number of other boxers, local boxers. But tell us, Steve, your tribute, and no doubt representing the boxing fraternity of Guyana. How would you remember Johnson St. Louis?
Well, thank you very much, Michael. Thank you for having me on this program. And first and foremost, I would want to say condolence to the wife and family and relatives of Johnson St. Louis. Um, I would have come into contact with Johnson. I became president of the Guyana Boxing Association in 2009, and I would have first brushed shoulders with him in 2012, I think it was. Um, as the president of the Guyana Boxing Association and as a vice president of the America's Boxing Confederation, we are deeply saddened by his passing. Deeply saddened because of the fact that Johnson was one of our silent, strong soldiers in the Caribbean. He's not a man of many words, or he was not a man of many words, but he was a man of action. Sadly, I cannot say that for many of our other administrators within the region, who I think are much more talk and less action. Johnson was that person. When the job is to be done, he would roll up his sleeves and he will get it done. I will tell you something. In 2015, we would have held the first of a resuscitated Caribbean championship. And we had reached out to Johnson in order to have a team of Grenadian fighters here. He was the first person to acknowledge, the first person to register, and I think Grenada was the first team to land in Guyana for that tournament with our Caribbean schoolboys and juniors tournament. Johnson was the first person that would have reached out to us to participate. They would have had some problems after that to participate, but I'm trying to show you the underlying character of this person. And it is not because that he has died, and you know, there's the saying of do not say ill, do not speak ill of the dead. But this is because of the person he was. And if you go across the Caribbean, I think if we want to be honest with ourselves, we will say that this is someone that we will deeply miss. This is not a friend of mine. Johnson was a brother of mine. And I am saying this because we shared the same ideas. We saw eye to eye on issues as it relates to moving our region from one stage to another. And when we called for action, he was always there. I don't know if he has left very large shoes for persons to fill. I do hope that whoever takes over the reins in Grenada, we will also be able to work with the level of camaraderie and with the level of assistance and support. The sport in the Caribbean and in AMBC has lost a true stalwart. He cannot be replaced. And again, my heart goes out to his wife, his relatives, and to Grenada because he's a true son of the soil and he has represented you with flying colors. I would have the last time we would have met was in Panama in 2020 last year, January. I would think yes, we met in Panama, and there was so much that he wanted to do to make sure that he can, revive the sport and push the sport in Grenada. As a matter of fact, for the first time in the history of boxing in Grenada, there was a fighter who represented that country at the World Championship. And that was due to the push and the shoving and the all round undertaking of Johnson St. Louis. So, many people did not know how hard he worked in the backgrounds. As I said, he was not someone who was the flamboyant type and who would want the media coverage and so forth, but he was day in, night out working. I think to his last days, he was working for boxing. And I'm really honored that I had chance to meet and be friends and share the level of camaraderie with such a great man. And Grenada, the Caribbean, and AMBC has lost a true stalwart.
Yes, I want to thank you, Steve, for that glowing tribute to Johnson, and as you indicated, not just representing Guyana but representing ANB as well. And I thank you very much for that. Thank you
Thank you.
very much. Yeah. Okay. So there you heard it from Steve Ninvalle, the president of the Guyana Boxing Association. Very eloquent indeed was Steve, and bringing in his thoughts